Welcome along. This is David Beard. I'm the CRM principal with Sage Technologies, the company behind Sage CRM. I work to support the worldwide education and the promotion of the Sage CRM product. I guess you call me an evangelist. I'm all about conveying the business value of CRM and articulating what the product can bring to you, your business, through various online and in-person activities, much of which has been the former, and this is another example of it. I'm based in London, but you can keep up with me on Twitter at TalkCRM and of course on the Sage CRM community and in these learning series. If those of you who've been with the series for a while, you'll know that this is all about helping you understand the world of Sage CRM and what it can offer to your business. We want you to hopefully give consideration to the business management tool that is Sage CRM and how you can use it to build success for your teams in the front office of your business, whatever you do. You have the basis of business management in your Sage accounting solution, but we want to share through these examples of how a customer relationship management CRM solution can help you save time, reduce paperwork, and provide you with much greater visibility and control over your business results. What we're doing today is listening to some previous interviews with Sage CRM specialists around the world, how they got into CRM, what they do with the product, and some examples of their expertise in action with their customers. Let's make a start. We've got 3 to listen to in this episode: My CRM Manager, CRM Together, and Ethos Systems. First up, My CRM Manager. Jeff and I spoke with Dan Cousins, a CRM specialist located in Toronto, Canada. Dan has been working with Sage CRM for as long as myself and Jeff. He helps customers to embed CRM successfully across the North American region. His company offers not only delivery services, but also sells integration products that allow Sage CRM to talk to Sage 50, Sage 100, Sage 300, Sage X3, and Sage Intacct. We thought his commentary about how he gets people on the road to CRM in an engaged manner, thus reducing risk and building the delivery project step by step, was a set of useful reflections. So here's a 5-minute snippet from that conversation recorded in late 2020 when we asked Dan how he approaches the conversation with customers on delivering successful CRM projects.
Well, the people I talk to wouldn't really be the accounting department per se. I would talk to more of the owner or the administrators of the business, and under their umbrella of control would be the accounting system, but also, and sometimes I'm being introduced by the controller, I suppose, but I always spin it as what problem are you trying to solve, or tell me about your existing system and why are you interested in this. I have a very sort of pushback approach. Are you sure you want to do this? What are you currently doing? Because it's a significant change to become this organized, the organized that comes with a CRM. And not everybody's ready for that, and not everybody always thinks it's going to be easier than it is, and it's a slog.
And how do you, so bearing that in mind, because it is a journey, to use that well-hackneyed phrase, but it's true. People do have to take a journey to get to a good CRM place. How do you get people on that journey? Do you have a way of introducing them quickly, easily, risk-free?
Well, I generally avoid trying to coerce somebody into CRM because I don't think that's ever been successful for me. Instead, it's somebody who's interested in a CRM, and I try to make sure that I just present myself and Sage CRM in the best possible light. But somebody has to be eagerly or sort of actively looking, and I have to be the logical choice. You're not going to be able to sway somebody to go down this road if they are not already actively looking. And now, here, but it's 2020, so many companies have crashed and burned with other projects or systems, whether that be Act or Goldmine or Salesforce or whatever, or they built a custom access system where their brother's kid did for them and now doesn't want to support it anymore. They either have a system that they need to replace, or they had a system that they're paying for that they're not using at all for a variety of reasons, or they've never had a system and they've just hired somebody and the person comes in and says, what are you talking about? You don't have a system. You've got to get a system. It's sort of a baseline requirement now when a new person that has had exposure to a system comes into a new environment.
Getting people on the road to getting CRM working in their company, Dan, do you take them that journey? Do you package anything up to help them make a start that is risk-free and easier to get people engaged?
Absolutely. We do offer a pilot package where an organization can, for a nominal fee, have Sage CRM installed, integrated with their accounting data, and do a thorough testing with their staff, which generally spans 3 or so group meetings. Because it's hard to sell somebody on the seriousness of this or getting a commitment in a couple sales calls, but if we can get them to test drive it, and the more time they spend, the more they realize what a massively powerful and positive impact the software will have on their organization.
I think there's a good point in there. I've said this a lot. Jeff's heard me say it, probably to the point of distraction, is I think CRM, a lot of people don't know what they don't know about it. I always feel you have to get them on a road to somewhere and say, well, the first signpost is a mile down the road. We'll go there first. And then once they get there, the view has changed. And I'm hoping this metaphor is working for me. And they see a different site and they go, oh, I can do this with it. Do you find the same thing happens?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, many examples of clients where the one project just feeds into another project and then another. They might take a hiatus or they might just keep chugging along. But the more they see the potentials, the more they want to do, which is, in some ways, it handicaps the sales of CRM because it's such a service intense product. But yes, absolutely. And I'm the same way. You don't know what you don't know, but the more experience you have, whether you're me or the client, and if those experiences have been positive, then it should just roll into more and more.
Dan continues on during the conversation to discuss how he works with other Sage accounting partners to be their domain expert for CRM, as well as the value of CRM in a hybrid cloud environment, and managing the evolution of his customers' needs once they're on the CRM journey. So, if you're interested in hearing more from Dan, you can listen to all 3 of the episodes we recorded with him at sagethoughtleadership.com. Just search for the term My CRM Manager. Next up, Jeff and I spoke with Mark Reedy, founder and owner of the global ISV partner CRM Together. Mark, based in Dublin, Ireland, has been working with Sage CRM since its very inception, being part of the original core development team. He started his own Sage CRM specialist consultancy, CRM Together, which provides add-on software for Sage CRM, including Accelerator, an Outlook integration tool, MobileX, a mobile client, as well as Crystal Manager and Customer 365. For the Sage CRM partner community globally, who Mark works with very closely, his software helps them upsell the story and embed CRM deeper into their client base. Jeff and I thought Mark's commentary about his business's primary focus on user adoption was an interesting reflection on the state of delivery. Let's listen in.
Well, our primary focus with any of the products we build really is around user adoption because it's the key killer of CRM projects. If you look at, say, an ERP project, if it's failing spectacularly. Everyone knows about it. If a CRM project is failing, it kind of dies a slow death. The guy who paid for it, maybe the champion knows it's okay and they use it, but they haven't been able to get other people to use and put the data in. Our approach really is about making CRM just seamless and part of their daily process. Initially, we actually used to have an IE plugin. We then evolved it and have obviously our Accelerator Outlook integration. And what we just try and do is make CRM just feel like a part of their daily work. So everyone opens up their Outlook, and CRM just feels like a part of that. It's deeply embedded in the Outlook. It just makes people feel that CRM is just part of what they do, and they see the benefits straight away. And they, especially for a new project, you go in, you have an empty database. there's not a lot to look at. People are kind of going, why would I fill this in? What's the benefit? With the accelerator integration, they start seeing the data going in very quickly. They start seeing the benefits. And really, we're just trying to remove that friction between the end user doing their work and getting the information into the CRM system.
So that's a good summary of why, and it's the adoption so important. It's probably worth you giving a quick précis of the products you have so that people understand what you do.
Because you mentioned you've mentioned their names, but in terms of what are they and where do they fit?
Sure. So we have 4 main products at the moment that we sell. We have the accelerator product, deep Outlook integration, and that's our main product by a long way. And a lot of partners lead with that when they're doing demonstrations and selling Sage CRM. We have our Mobile X product, which is our mobile app. And this is designed to be used on a mobile phone. It's a progressive web app and an app we're continuing to evolve. And actually, even we're now looking at getting it onto the App Store to really try and address CRM from a mobile point of view and make it actually useful rather than just a box ticking exercise of, do you have a mobile app? It's actually an app that will actually communicate with them. We have our Customer 365 portal, which is a self-service implementation of our portal. It's kind of a funny product in that it's a mixture of product and then some services. Typically, people want different things. So, for example, we have people running warranty systems on it, so people can register. They can purchase a product, they can then register their warranty on the site. And we've got that people can actually order. We've integration with Sage 100, so people can order on the portal, and actually it gets processed into Sage 100. And then we have the Crystal Reports integration, which allows you to access Crystal Reports via Sage CRM, and that includes one-click reports. Crystal Reports is typically what's shipped with the Sage ERP products, and we just try and utilize that people can actually build those particular reports and embed them into CRM. So, of course, sorry, I should have mentioned also, then we have the open source initiative that we started late last year. And what we do with that is we provide free open source code on GitHub that anyone can access and install. And we have one particular product on that called the Rapid Item Picker, which is an add-on for building quotes and picking items. And that's been a really big success.
What's been the push to do the open source thing? Because the other products are more ISV, you buy them per user, et cetera, et cetera. Why the open source?
The reason that we decided to do open source, there's two parts, I suppose. There's always the temptation to say, oh, can we build something? Can we make this a product? The reality is you have then maybe 20 products and, only some sell well, and then you sell a few of each, and then you're just spread too thin. And so the idea here was more so to say, well, look, it really isn't worth our while making this into a product, and all that entails help files, updating, testing with the next version. It's a lot of work. It's got to be justified. And a lot of the utilities we felt we just couldn't justify, making them products. It just didn't make sense. So we thought, well, how can we benefit from them, however? And what we decided was, well, these can be a marketing tool. The same way we invest in marketing, we just invest in free products here. It's still part of our marketing channel. And the idea is then also to help the partners sell. The more Sage CRM is sold, the more that we sell, because that's where we live.
All boats rise. Yeah,
all
exactly.
boats rise, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Mark continues with some ideas on how he chose the path, or rather, how the path chose him to become a Sage CRM ISV partner. He also mentions how he sees the future of Sage CRM heading into 2021 and beyond, and how customers are awakening to the potential of this idea of everything in one place, the CRM 360-degree view. If you're interested in hearing more from Mark and his work with Sage CRM, you can listen to all 3 of the episodes we made on sagethoughtleadership.com. Just search for the term CRM Together. Finally, Jeff and I spoke with Amanda Markham, who's the CRM Director of Ethos Systems, who specialize in delivering CRM and accounting solutions into the specialist area of construction and related industries in the North American market. We thought Amanda's commentary about the uniqueness of their Sage CRM proposition for that industry was an interesting story to hear. First up, we asked Amanda what Ethos Systems is all about and who they talk to.
We're kind of a unique Sage partner in that we go after really specific markets. So we only talk to people in the construction or real estate space. That's our area, if you will. We speak those languages very fluently. So we are a Sage shop. We do sell pretty much the full gamut of the Sage construction and real estate tool set, but Sage CRM is a big part of that tool set, and it has become more and more. We work on trying to find what's new in technology, what's coming, and then take that to, let's talk about construction specifically, just because we all know they kind of lag a little in technology. And so we're specifically usually trying to come to that group and say, hey guys, this is coming up in a couple years. Let's start talking now. Let's start thinking now. How are we going to get ready for that?
In your phraseology then, Amanda, who are these guys? Who are they? Who are you talking to?
So these guys, and I should really stop that, but my typical folks that I'm talking to, when I talk about contractors, I'm really talking about GCs, specialty or service guys. And if you don't know what I mean, bear with me. I'm going to give you a quick definition. Your GCs, your general contractors, those are the guys that are building the buildings ground up. So I should have looked up who built the Tower of London way back when, but that was your GC. Yeah, that person that showed up to manage that project and get it up.
Listen, Amanda, if it was the Tower of London, you can bet your bottom dollar that well, you know, the William the Conqueror, that wasn't his first name. The GCs called that particular demanding person William something else.
I like it. I'm pretty sure some of our clients have been called that too at some point. But so that's your general contractor. And the other contractors we deal with are specialty or service. And if you aren't familiar, it sounds like I'm saying the same thing. I promise I'm not. Your specialties, the way I know how to describe this is, if you think about it, you go into a big building and someone's going to put up a 30-story office building. There is someone that specializes in hanging drywall. That's a specialty contractor. All they do is drywall all day long. And they know how to go in and estimate and make money off of hanging drywall in those big spaces. Your service contractors, they are the people that go out and do service work. So when you think about your HVAC system, your aircon goes out and you need to make a phone call, that's our service contractor. So there is a difference there. And we speak all of their languages, and they all three have very distinct languages.
They do. I've got some insight into the building trades and the construction trades, certainly in the UK market. So you'll have the general builder, the general contractor who is going to be taking the work. Do you interface with the architects and the design companies that are doing sort of the technical diagrams for those aircon systems, for those services?
Good question, Jeff. Typically, when it comes to the architectural firms, there are some legal reasons why Sage, actually on the construction real estate side, we don't have any solutions for them. They have very industry specific solutions that meet a legal requirement. We tie into that though. So we'll tie into those systems and get the data back into our systems.
I'm aware that in the states themselves have different certification programs for contractors. So do you handle and have to think about the certification programs for those and keeping track of not only the GC's certification status, but also the certification statuses of the subcontractors?
Exactly. And that's what we're doing. And the project management side, we do that through Sage 300, CRE, or Sage 100 Contractor. That's the kind of information that's flowing back into CRM. So as an example, if I were a business development person in a GC's office and I've got a new bid, I just found out this municipality is looking at building a new school in a new district, and that looks like it's going to be work for 2021. In my opportunity in CRM, I'm typically recording who my subs will be too. I might be using a search select field to just indicate what subs do I think I'm going to invite to bid with me, so that historically I can look back to see what bids do I win and who are the subs with me when I won it. Who are the subs that keep not really helping me, So you can see the positive and the negative there.
So how did you come to be part of this whole different industry, Amanda, and speaking this language?
So I don't know if I should admit this or not. My background is in fashion marketing and advertising.
It's a natural route into construction, of course.
Yes. I imagined that you would have been sort of What Hod magazine. What for?
Yes, but so I didn't really have a background for this. I got into the marketing and advertising for a partner. I actually went to work for Cornerstone Solutions, who is now Ethos Systems. They've absorbed some other partners. But job one was coming in just to do marketing and advertising, and they needed a CRM. And they were on Goldmine. It was old. It was 10 years ago, and I was coming out of a catalog company, Spiegel Catalog, if you guys remember that catalog, for any North American listeners. Spiegel Catalog was a big catalog. German company, and I came out of that situation with quite a bit of information on how software systems should run and how should we store data for marketing and advertising. And so I stepped into this partner's office who was selling software, but the software was all accounting, estimating. They hadn't, project management. They hadn't really thought about how, for themselves internally, how they were going to use that software to track things. So I went out looking for a CRM system. At the same time, Sage said, hey, and Jeff, you would have been there, and David, I wonder if you were there. Sage said, hey, we have this new thing. We had ActPack, we had, what's our other, Act. We had Sales Logics, and here came Sage CRM. This was this cool tool that was going to be web-based and da-da-da-da-da. And I took one look at it and I thought, yeah, this works. This is adaptable for what we're going to do. This gave me everything the big systems for Spiegel had given me, but it gave me it at a much less price tag, something that my partner could stomach at that point. And it was something that I knew I could build on. And it probably took me about 6 months of using it and listening to the sales guys around me. I was listening to what they were talking about with their prospects, and it hit me. I thought, this goes together. The CRM belongs in their office too. They need to keep track of who their business development people are talking to. How's marketing going to get the contacts to market too? It was really simple questions that started me down the path of, I think our customers would actually benefit from hearing about a CRM.
If you'd like to know more, Amanda continues to dive deeper into the CRM and back office tools working in construction and rounds up the story around efficiency and data capture improvements their customers find across that industry. You can listen to all 3 of the episodes at sagethoughtleadership.com. Just search for the term Ethos Systems, ETHOSYSTEMS. That brings us to the end of today's session. Just a reminder as a close, we've been working with small to medium-sized companies for over 30 years, helping thousands of businesses to acquire, retain, and delight their own customers and achieve their own business ambitions. Using Sage CRM, our customers save time, increase productivity, and gain greater visibility across their business. Additionally, thousands of Sage CRM customers have enjoyed increased sales and bigger business growth. It enables them to tailor and tune their marketing, sales, and customer service functions to work together better, sharing information, managing interactions, whoever they deal with at whatever stage of that process. Sage CRM is an affordable and easy-to-use solution that over 16,000 small and medium-sized businesses around the world have looked to grow their own business. So that's the end of today's session. Thanks for joining us. There's lots more real-life examples of the customers and what they do with Sage CRM on sagecrm.com. That's all for now. Join us next time. Thanks for listening.